This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of Phatts TV, sanctioned by PA Phatts and the non-genetically proven Sun. Any and all words have been authorized during the show. There is nothing off limits. Nobody is restricted from watching or participating in the show. It is a free-for-all. Commencing at the siren, any and all discussions will be legal for an extended period of time. Sports, politics, and any and all controversial topics will be talked about. You have been warned. May God be with us all.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Phatts TV on this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to Phatts TV
this
on
Thursday
this
night,
Thursday night,
October the 1st.
October
One of these
the
days
1st.
I will
One
remember
of these days I will remember
to unmute the microphone
after
the intro plays.
Intro plays.
One of these days.
One of these days.
So it's another beautiful day here.
Beautiful day here.
Our neck of the woods.
I'm assuming
it was a nice day.
I'm assuming it was a nice day up there too.
It was. It was like 65 today.
Yeah, it's probably about the same down
probably
here.
about the same down
I don't think
here.
it got into the 70s.
I don't think it got into the 70s.
Sunny.
Yeah.
Sunny. Spent
Yeah.
the last 4 hours outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good.
You were on the links yesterday.
You were on the links
sorta,
yesterday, sort of, kind of.
Today.
Oh, and today. What'd you play today?
What'd you play today?
At the White Course.
Oh, you needed to feel better.
You needed to feel better
after playing a country club
after playing a
yesterday.
country club
I
yesterday.
didn't play much better.
I didn't play much better.
95
yesterday.
7
today.
Yeah, for that white course, that's
Yeah,
not
for that
good
white
for you.
course, that's not good for you.
No.
83
283
would be okay.
Around 80 would be good.
Around 80 would be good.
So I want to apologize for those of you that may have been
watching
us on Tuesday night. We kind of lost our signal.
About
halfway through the debate. Was having internet issues all day. It wasn't me. The area. And it dropped. And it wanted to come back up. And then come back up. And then drop. So hopefully it stays up.
Hopefully it stays up.
Our telecast tonight. It did drop earlier today, about 8 hours ago. Just for about a minute or two. So hopefully we don't have any of those problems.
So bad to say that your audio's off.
Is it bad to say my audio's
bad
off?
to say my audio's off?
Your lips
Yeah.
are moving.
Oh, the delay.
The delay. Well,
Right.
So yeah, I have to reset.
I have to reset.
Reminding me.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yesterday, to make sure everything
worked
okay. I wanted to test everything out. And it was time to upgrade
the software.
So I upgraded it.
And that was
a disaster.
And that was a disaster.
An absolute disaster. Kept getting error messages. Everything I tried to do. Contact tech support. Tech support told me what to do. That didn't fix the issue. So what I did was we have Wirecast version 14. So what I did was I got out my old Wirecast 7 disc and I downloaded that. So we're on Wirecast 7 tonight. So yeah, when we originally bought Wirecast, I had a disc. Just in case if something like this ever happened, and I had to take care of this. So let's see. I'll set the delay at a half a second. Was the video in front of the audio or the other way around?
Now it's even worse.
Okay, so
we'll set that back to 0 and remove the audio. That. All right, how's that?
About the same.
So it's not any better?
Yes, maybe slightly better.
All right.
How about that?
That was the same.
All right. All right, now it's on a full second delay.
It's basically the.
So I'll have to play around with
All
it.
right. So I'll have to play around with it.
We had the debate Tuesday night.
What was
your overall impressions?
What was your overall impressions of the debate?
Crapshoot. People yelling at each other.
Whole time.
The moderator kind of took
Biden's side. Just.
Well, Chris Wallace used to be.
He's
always been a Democrat, and he works for Fox News.
He's always been a Democrat, and he works for Fox News.
Doesn't mean that
Just because people work for Fox News doesn't mean that they're all Republicans.
More than not, they're actually Democrats.
Democrats.
But Chris Wallace used to be really impartial.
I used to say he used to try to be today's Tim Russert.
Straight down the line.
Because Tim Russert was always straight down the line impartial.
But ever since Trump's taken office,
he's let his
opinions come out a little more.
I
thought he was an absolute disgrace. It's all right if you're going to interrupt the president as he's talking, but you better also do it to Biden. And he helped Biden out on a couple questions. When he talked about the Green New Deal,
towards the end,
with the Proud Boys, to say that they're like a white supremacist organization. Don't know what that noise was.
Our Skype disconnected.
At first he said sure, and then it kept pressing him. He never asked Biden if he would say that Black Lives Matter group or Antifa were terrorist organizations. Never. Absolutely never. There's this thing going around the internet that Joe Biden was wearing a mic and that there was a wire. I can tell you right now with a million percent certainty that was not a wire. I have a program on my phone. Coach's Eye, where you can actually take video and move it frame by frame. So I put that video into Coach's Eye. It wasn't his coat that recovered what they thought was a wire. Whatever it was just disappeared. It was either a shadow or a crease in his shirt. Not to say that he wasn't wired. That was not a wire.
Right.
So. We have another debate in 2 weeks. Next week vice presidential debate. Wednesday, and then the following Tuesday is the next debate. Now, the next debate is a town hall style debate. So that's going to be set up a little different, but it's interesting. The moderator, who was disclosed today, his last name is Scully. Was an intern for Joe Biden. How about that? Seriously. So yeah. You don't. A clown. Yeah.
President.
Yes, you're supposed to have some reverence for the position. But that's what. That's why I think Trump won the debate. He did exactly what he wanted to do. As I wrote in my write-up, which you can read on my personal Facebook page. The idea was, Joe Biden is a liberal. He's not a progressive. He's a liberal. Not really sure how he got the nomination. He's a liberal. He's going to need the progressives to vote for him. From left to right. If you have moderates right in the middle, you would have liberals here, and then you would have progressives here. So progressives are more left. Than liberals are. So Trump did it perfectly. He got Biden to admit a lot of things. First he got Biden to say, I am the Democratic Party. As like Emperor Palpatine. I am the Senate. Do it. Yeah. Do it. Yeah. He got him to say that he doesn't support the Green New Deal. I mean,
he doesn't support the Green New Deal. I mean, that's huge.
That is absolutely huge because
that is absolutely huge.
You know, if progressives actually listen to that stuff, they're not going to come out. Progressives actually listen to
that stuff, they're not going to come out and vote for him
because they want this Green New Deal. And if he's on the record now saying, "I do not,"
he's on the record now saying, "I do not support the Green New Deal."
He says that people should not be looting and rioting. He says that's criminal mentality.
Progressives Progressives don't feel that way.
So Trump did exactly what Trump
wanted to do.
Is it going to turn some undecided?
Is it going to turn some undecided
out as a bully
because he came out as a bully? Yeah, it probably
will. But the votes that he loses, are going to be far less. Are going to be far less
than the votes that Biden is going to lose from the left flank of the party.
In fact, I'm going to tell you this right now. Here's prediction number one.
Here's prediction number one.
President Trump is going to carry the
state of Minnesota
in this election. Minnesota has
election.
What?
Minnesota has.
I wonder why. I wonder.
I mean, he only lost Minnesota to Clinton.
He only lost Minnesota to Clinton by 40-some-odd thousand votes.
Yes, he is going. He is going to carry the state of Minnesota. He is going to
carry the state of Minnesota.
And it's 10 electoral votes.
And it's 10.
There's no doubt in my mind that the presidency is going to hinge on the state that we are in. No doubt in my mind.
Pennsylvania.
If he carries Pennsylvania, if he carries Minnesota,
if he carries Minnesota,
meaning if he carries all the others,
if he carries Florida,
if he carries
Florida,
North Carolina, so if he carries Florida, North Carolina,
Pennsylvania,
he could afford then to lose Michigan. He could afford to lose Wisconsin. He could afford to lose
Wisconsin. He could afford to lose Arizona.
It's also not out of the realm of possibility.
It's also not out of the realm of possibility
that he picks up. He only lost New Hampshire by a
couple thousand votes.
I mean, granted, it's only 4 electoral votes, but that's 4
electoral votes. They could come in handy.
So, yeah, to me, it's going to come down to the state of Pennsylvania. That's why on election night you want to have me, Phatts TV, and the non-genetically proven son up on your computer because I will be giving you up to the moment.
I will be giving you
results from Pennsylvania and all the other
significant states around the land.
I know what counties to look for in other states. I certainly know what counties to look for in the state of Pennsylvania. You want Phatts TV on your computer.
Fats TV on your computer.
I will start live streaming somewhere around 5 o'clock. Straight through the night. The whole week
taken the whole week off of work.
So I think our school is trying to do something.
Because they know Pennsylvania is important.
They're
talking about now.
Having no school the day of the election.
Okay.
I don't understand why they have to cancel school. I don't understand why they have to cancel school. It's not like you're in school all day.
It says
you have 13 hours to vote.
You have 13 hours
in the state of Pennsylvania.
In the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Oh wait, how many classes do we have?
Yeah.
Oh wait, none.
I mean, you have 13 hours to vote.
And the busiest of people are not in class.
And think about it. How many college kids are going to vote anyway?
How many college kids are going to vote anyway?
30%.
If that. Yeah.
30%.
If that. Yeah.
So, but we don't talk a lot of politics on Thursday.
We don't talk a lot of politics on Thursday night. We talk about sports on a Thursday.
What?
I said sport.
Yes.
I said sport.
Well.
Yes.
Bye.
Well.
But anyway,
bye.
With everything that went on this last weekend, with us going to the rally and stuff, I completely forgot. I had a horse run Sunday
at Santa Anita. At Santa Anita.
Laneway.
How'd that go?
Laneway.
The number 9 horse. The first time he faced winners.
The first time he faced winners.
He finished second. Ran a really good race. I think if he got an inside post draw, he probably would have been a lot closer. He finished second by about 3 lengths.
He finished second by about 3
lengths. The winner of the race was the leader throughout the entire race.
And he was able to slow the race down. And he was able to slow the race down.
It was a little hard to catch at the end.
It was a little hard to catch at the end.
Laneway had a race 4 wide.
Laneway had a race 4 wide.
He had a race 4 wide through the first.
He had a race 4 wide
So he lost probably 30 or 40 feet.
He lost probably 30 or 40 feet.
Compared to if he had like the three.
Compared to if he had like the three.
I mean, came out of the 3-hole or the 5-hole.
Came out of the 3-hole or the 5-hole.
So he closed nice.
Right.
That's how
he closed nice.
He ran the race that you typically want to see.
He ran the race that you typically want to see.
Nice
grass horses
stalking
run.
position.
Nice stalking position.
I definitely think. As he matures, the added distance is going to be beneficial. The race was a mile
for him. The race
I think
was
he'll
a
be
mile.
able to go up to a mile and an eighth.
I think he'll be able to go up to a mile and an eighth without any problem.
Certainly a mile and a 16th.
Okay.
Certainly a mile and a 16th.
But he could probably do a mile and an eighth. He looked really good in the race. I was very happy.
I was very
watching him.
very happy.
Of course, I taped it.
Watching him run. Of course, I taped it
back a few times.
Watched it back a few times.
So he finished second.
Yeah. So he finished second.
Woo!
Woo!
Wayno, who knows about Wayno?
Who knows about Wayno?
My other two horses, the 2-year-olds, they're still in training.
They're still in training, coming off.
One's coming off of slight injury, and the other one got gelded. So we'll see how that goes.
We'll see how that goes.
Got gelded.
got
No children for you.
No children for you.
Yes. What did he say to his testicles?
What did he say to his testicles?
Bye.
Well, bye.
So on to football. Got an interesting college slate.
What about last week?
What about last week's?
We'll get there. Let's talk about a little college first.
Let's talk about a little college first.
Since most of our for the Phatts Fantastic Five is in pros,
so
let's look at college. There's some pretty interesting matchups this week.
There's some pretty interesting matchups this week.
At least there's some matchups.
Yeah.
Some matchups.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna be able to watch.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna be able to watch.
I'll be interested in watching a couple games. How about that?
Couple.
Certainly the one that I'm going to look forward to that I might end up betting. At 12 o'clock, you got TCU traveling to Texas.
Why do you find that very
interesting?
The Big 12 and the Big 12 scores points. It's going to be an offensive-minded game. The over-under is 62. I could see it being 76 or higher.
Well, I'm glad I finally saw people come out and basically say Oklahoma is not making the playoffs.
You know what? They face Texas next week. So
because their division stinks.
We'll see. If they do make the playoffs, they'll lose in the first game.
Rutgers would not go on winless in that division.
Maybe. Very surprising, yeah. Oklahoma did lose last week.
Oklahoma did lose last week. They had a 21-point lead late in the third quarter.
Remember last week I told you.
I
think Kansas State will cover.
I think Kansas State will cover. Right?
And you're like,
last year they won, and you're like, no, they didn't. Yes, they did.
They won 2 years now in a row.
Against Oklahoma.
They did.
This year it's so hard to predict with playing time, and it's so hard.
It's so hard.
I'll be watching that game at noon. Then at 3:30 you have Alabama and Texas A&M. Both teams are in the top 13. We might see that game in one of our Phatts Fantastic Five picks.
And then
at night, there's a decent game. You got Auburn and Georgia. So at least you got 3 decent games this week, and you might see that Auburn-Georgia game in one of our
Phatts Fantastic Five.
So we got a few weeks left until our favorite conference starts back up.
The Big Ten.
It's 3 weeks.
It's 3 weeks.
Penn State open with again. I don't even know.
Who's Penn State open with again? I don't even know.
They're on the road.
I just know their second week is Ohio.
Week is Ohio.
Indiana.
Yes.
Woo!
Indiana.
Right? Is it Indiana?
Woo!
Right? Is it Indiana?
That game.
Yes, I think it is.
Yes.
Yes, I
They
think
could
it
lose
is.
that game.
Yes.
For some reason, they don't.
They
play
could
very
lose
well.
that game. For some
They're not
reason, they
gonna
don't
lose
play
it.
very well in Indiana.
They're not going to lose.
Micah Parsons.
They're not going to.
Yes, I know that officially came out.
Yes, I know that officially came out.
Why?
I don't know why.
He's a junior.
Now, for those of you that are diehards,
football diehards,
I don't know why you want to watch tonight's NFL game.
I don't know why you want to watch tonight's NFL game.
The 0-3 Denver Broncos.
The 0-3 Denver Broncos going to MetLife Stadium to face the 0-3 New York Jets.
Yeah, look who's
Actually, that's been like bouncing all day.
That's been like bouncing all day.
One pick between one. Like I've been watching it all day.
Like I've been watching it
all day. For an hour,
day.
Denver will be the favorite. Then
for an hour, Denver will be the favorite. Then it'll be a pick. Then the Jets will be the favorite. It keeps bouncing back and forth. So it's basically a pick 'em.
Jets are a 1-point favorite, and that's only because
Denver's starting their third-string quarterback.
I think Denver, even with all their injuries, still has more talent than the Jets.
Still has more talent.
Let's face it, I'm a Jets fan, and I hope they lose.
Let's face it, I'm a Jets fan, and I hope they lose.
So they'll fire Adam Gase because I think if they lose tonight, Adam Gase is gone.
I think if they lose tonight, Adam Gase is gone.
Adam, you remind me of Rich Kotite Gase. So let's run down some of the games. As usual, if anybody would like to comment, our message board is live and operational. Nobody is saying anything, though.
Nobody is saying anything, though.
So Arizona comes east to play Carolina. Arizona coming off their first loss of the season. Carolina coming off a win where they could have lost on the last play of the game. Did you see the last play of that game? San Diego or LA Chargers. LA was driving. They needed a touchdown to win. They tried to hook and lateral. And the guy fumbled the pitch. If he caught the pitch, he would have walked into the end zone. Because there was nobody on that side of the field. Everybody who was close was running the other way. He would have easily walked into the end zone. He couldn't handle the pitch. I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't the pitch. I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't the pitch didn't come right to his. It was tossed high and a little behind him. But if he catches it, the Chargers win that game. So Arizona is a 3.5.
So Arizona is a 3.5 point road
under is 51. You have any opinions on that game?
You have any opinions on that game?
Neither do I. But if I have to take it, I will take the home underdog at 3.5, even with their injuries.
Carolina.
Oh, okay. No, I don't have any.
The Indianapolis Colts go on the road to the Chicago Bears. Indianapolis is a 2.5-point favorite with an over under 43. You have any opinion on that game?
Who's starting for the Bears, basically?
Nick Foles.
Then I like the Bears probably to win.
I like the Bears as well.
At least
with 2.5, I like the Bears.
At least with 2.5, I like the Bears.
I just meant to win.
Jacksonville, Cincinnati, we're going to skip that because one of us has that
in our Phatts Fantastic.
Cleveland and Dallas. This is the last game that I dropped. Out of my Phatts Fantastic Five.
Cleveland is on the road as a 5.5-point underdog with a very high over-under of 56.
I didn't like that extra half point.
Okay.
If I was going to play Dallas.
Okay.
What? This is going to be an interesting game because defensively, what Dallas does best is stop the run. Offensively, what Cleveland does the best is run the ball. So, if they can run the ball successfully, chew up time, I think the under 56 looks like a pretty decent play. I thought about taking Dallas. The last few days, but I don't know. I could see Dallas winning by 17. I could see Dallas winning by 3. I don't think Cleveland wins by 3. I don't think Cleveland wins the game. I think it'll be a close game. We'll skip New Orleans and Detroit because one of us has that. Minnesota on the road as a 3.5-point underdog at Houston. Yes, probably the most surprising 0-3 is Vikings because a lot of people predicted that they would win that division. In fact, when we had our preview show, they were the favorite. To win that division.
Put them in the Super Bowl.
Didn't one of us?
And that was not me.
I don't remember.
My Super Bowl pick coming out of there was New Orleans.
I might have had Minnesota coming out.
Now, you could kind of understand why Houston is 0-3. They played Kansas City, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh.
They had a rough one.
Yes.
They had a rough one.
Yes.
Yes.
You have any opinion on this game?
You have any opinion on this game?
No, but one of them
No, but
four, and that's just,
one of them's going to be over.
Really?
That's just,
Really?
Tie.
Unless if it's a tie.
Bengals.
so they can do a.
Yes. Speaking
Bengals,
of the
Eagles.
Bengals,
Yes.
Eagles,
Speaking of the
I ended up
Bengals,
betting that
Eagles,
game last week.
I ended up betting that game last
Oh,
week.
yeah.
I took the over
Oh,
at
yeah.
I took
46 and
the
a half.
over at 46 and a
Final
half.
score 23-23.
Final score 23-23.
No score in overtime.
No scoring in overtime.
No score in overtime.
Eagles
No scoring
lined
in
up to
overtime.
kick a field
Eagles
goal and
lined up to
they
kick
went
a field
offside.
goal
Or
and they went
there was
offside.
movement
Or
on the line.
there was movement on the line.
Dumbasses.
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 Vey. Seattle, Miami will
Vey.
skip that game.
Seattle,
We
Miami
both
will
have
skip
a
that
pick in
game. We both have a pick in that game.
The Los Angeles Chargers go on the
The Los
road
Angeles
to the Tampa
Chargers
Bay
go on the
Buccaneers.
road
At
to
the
the
moment,
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At the moment, Tampa
favorite.
Bay is a 6.5
You have
point
any opinion on
favorite.
that game?
You have any opinion on that game?
I think that could be
I
a
think
lot.
Tampa will win the game.
I think Tampa will win the
I'm
game.
going to cover 6.5.
I think they will.
I think they will.
I actually think it could be a little on the high
actually think it
scoring
could be
side.
a little on the high
The over
scoring
under is,
side.
I think, kind of low at 43.
The over under is, I think, kind of low.
I
at
could see that being in
43.
the upper 40s.
I could see
Tampa
that being
Bay,
in the upper 40s. Tampa
their
Bay.
defense is playing better than they were
Their defense is
projected
playing
to, at
better
least this early
than
in
they
their
were
season,
projected
and their
to, at
offensive
least this early in their season.
seems
And
to
their
have
offensive
clicked.
seems
Now, granted,
seems to
their
have
two wins have
clicked.
come
Now,
against
granted, their two wins
Carolina
have come
and
against
Denver.
Carolina
Yeah.
and Denver.
I mean, you got to
Yeah.
give them a pass on
I mean,
week one.
you got to give them a
losing in
pass
New
on week
Orleans.
one losing in
You know,
New
they had no
Orleans.
preseason games, and you have all
You know,
these
they had
new
no
players.
preseason games, and you have all these new
So you
players.
kind of got to give them a pass on that.
Right.
So you kind of got to give them a pass on that.
So I didn't play
I
the game, but if I had to
didn't
pick
play
at
the
6.5,
game, but
I'll
if
take
I
Tampa
had to
Bay. If
pick
it goes
at
up to
6.5,
7.5,
I'll take
though, I
Tampa Bay.
wouldn't
If it
touch
goes
that.
up to 7.5, though, I wouldn't touch that game.
Baltimore, Washington will skip that game.
Baltimore,
for now.
Washington will skip that game.
Giants
for
travel
now.
out west to
Giants
the LA Rams
travel
as
out
a 12.5
west to the
point
LA
underdog
Rams
with
as
an
a 12.5
over-under
point
of
underdog with
48.5.
an over-under of 48.5.
Any opinion?
Any
I
opinion?
wouldn't really be surprised if I saw
I wouldn't really be surprised if I saw the Rams, actually.
Oh, the Giants stink.
Oh, the Giants stink.
I know they do, and it's hilarious. Every year
They
The New York teams
They
suck.
The New York teams suck.
stink.
Except
They-
the Bills.
Yeah, the Giants
They-
are pretty bad.
Yeah, the Giants are pretty
there's-
bad.
The
Um,
Giants
and there's
The Giants
Right now, if they
game
played,
was
the
like-
Giants would win.
right now, if
only
they
again
played, the
'cause
Giants
Jets
would
have a
win.
ton of
Only
injuries.
again because the Jets have a ton of injuries.
The Giants don't have their best player.
The Giants don't have their
Yeah.
best player.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they have
Okay.
Daniel Jones as a quarterback.
And they have
Yeah.
Daniel Jones as
Okay.
a quarterback.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
If I have to play this game, I would
If
actually
I have
still
to
lay
play
the
this
12
game,
and a half.
I would actually still
I don't
lay
like
the 12 and a
laying
half.
more than double digits.
I don't like
although I did
laying more
in
than
another
double
game this
digits.
week.
Although I did.
New
in
England,
another
Kansas
game this
City,
week.
one of us
New
has.
England, Kansas City, one of
Buffalo
us
going
has.
out to the
Buffalo
desert
going
as a
out to
3.5
the desert
point road
as a 3.5
favorite with an
point
over-under
road
of
favorite
53.
with an over/under of 53.
Buffalo is for
Buffalo
real.
is for real.
If it was 2.5, I would have played it.
it was
Josh
2.5,
Allen,
I would have played it.
the
Josh
hottest
Allen,
quarterback
the
in
hottest
land.
quarterback.
Although they should have lost
land.
last
Although
week.
they should have
They
lost
had a
last
25-point lead
They
that they
had
blew.
a 25-point
They wound
lead
up winning
that
the
they
game
blew.
on a
And they wound up
ticky-tack
winning the
pass
game
interference
on a
call.
ticky-tack pass interference call.
So they're 3-0.
So they're
Stats-wise,
3-0.
they're blowing everybody out.
Stats-wise, they're blowing everybody out.
Completely stats-wise, they're phenomenal.
Completely
If
stats-wise,
the game was
they're
played on
phenomenal.
paper,
If
they'd go
the game was
16-0.
played on paper, they'd go 16-0 right now.
On paper, they're just a fantastic team.
On paper, they're just a fantastic team.
At 3.5 though, I could
At
see the
3.5
Raiders
though,
staying
I
in
could see the
keeping
Raiders
this game close.
staying in
That's why I
keeping
said
this game
at
close.
2.5, I would have
That's
played
why I
it.
said at 2.5. I
Don't
would
be
have
surprised if the Raiders find a way to win.
Don't be
this game.
surprised if the Raiders find a way to win this game.
The Eagles 49ers, one of us
The
has
Eagles
that
49ers, one of us
total,
has
so we
that
could talk about the
total,
side.
so we could talk about
you
the
have a preference
side.
on the side at 7.
You have a preference on the side at 7.
No, I really don't.
No, I really
think
don't.
The Eagles would probably
I think
cover that.
The Eagles
because
would probably
San
cover
Fran's
that
still without
because
Garoppolo.
is San Fran still without Garoppolo?
I believe so. I believe they're getting one of
I
their running
believe
backs
so.
back.
I believe they're getting one of their running backs back.
They may be able to cover that.
They
but I-
may be able to cover
The
that.
Eagles, for some
but
reason, tend to play well
the
when
Eagles,
they
for
travel
some reason,
out
tend
west.
to play well when they travel out west.
At 7, I would probably take a shot
At
with the
7,
Eagles
I would
myself.
probably take a shot with the Eagles myself.
Yeah, at 7 probably.
Yeah, at 7 probably. I'd probably get it down to like 5 to really take San Fran.
So that's the Sunday night game, and then
So
the
that's
Monday
the
game
Sunday
will
night
skip.
game, and then the
Atlanta
Monday game
going
will
on
skip.
the road.
Atlanta going on the
7
road.
point
7
underdog
point
to
underdog
to Green Bay.
to
You know,
Green
when
Bay.
I did,
You know,
you
when
have
I-
this
when I
game
did-
in your thing.
You have this game in your thing.
Let me put it at 6.5.
Let me put it at 6.5.
All right, so let's do the Phatts
Fantastic Five.
We both had a winning week last week.
We both had a winning week last week.
I would have been undefeated, but you know.
The Jaguars quarterback.
He threw an interception on the 2-yard line.
He threw an interception on the 2-yard line.
If they score,
you go
you go 5-0 because the game goes over.
You go 5-0 because the game goes over.
I know.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I
I thought that
know.
was
Yes.
easy once they
Yes.
saw
I
that.
thought that was easy once they saw that
Miami was. If you told Miami's
Miami's
score
going
30,
to score 30.
Yeah.
just need the
Yeah.
Jaguars to score 20.
Yeah.
So to recap, you had the Tennessee Volunteers
given 3. I believe they won by 4.
You had the over in the Jacksonville Miami game.
You had the
at 48
over in the
and a half.
Jacksonville Miami
That
game
didn't
at
quite make
48.5.
it. You had New England minus 5.
You had New England minus 5.
They covered pretty easy. You had
They covered
Pittsburgh
pretty easy.
minus
You
4.
had
I believe they won by
Pittsburgh
7.
minus 4. I believe they won by 7.
And you and I went head to head.
And you and I went head to
Seattle,
head.
I had Dallas.
You had Seattle. I had
at
Dallas.
5.5. Seattle won by
5.5.
7. Because
Seattle
they
won by
converted
7
on a second chance.
because they
2-point
converted
conversion.
on a second chance 2-point conversion.
Because there was a penalty.
Because there was a penalty.
What does that put me? I was 6-4, so.
You are 10-5.
You are 10-5.
What?
My picks, I went 3-2.
My picks, I went
I had
3
the
and
Giants,
2.
and that was just a god awful.
I had the
pick.
Giants, and that was just a god awful pick.
I figured they'd keep it close with all the
I
injuries
figured
that
they'd
San
keep it
Francisco
close with all
had.
the injuries that San Francisco had.
Figured they'd keep it close.
Figured they'd keep it close.
Went 5-0 if you didn't talk me off
The over is the
San Fran because the over in the Jacksonville
Yeah,
is the
but
last one
you-
I picked.
Yeah, but you
switched out San
you
Fran for Pittsburgh.
switched out San Fran for Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Did I?
So
Yes.
no, you still would have went 4-1.
So no, you still would have went 4-1.
I blame you.
Don't try to con a con
I
man.
blame you.
Don't try to con a con man.
So I had a loser with the Giants at +4.
So I had a loser
also
with the
had
Giants
New
at
England.
+4. I also had New England.
I had the over in the LA Rams
I had the
Buffalo
over
game at
in the LA
47.
Rams
That went way
Buffalo
over.
game at
They scored in the
47. That
60s.
went way over. They scored
I
in
had
the
Dallas
60s.
+5.5, which
I
was
had
a
Dallas
loser, and
plus
I
5.5,
had
which
Green
was a
Bay
loser, and I had
+3, which was
Green
an
Bay
outright winner
plus 3,
on
which was an
Sunday Night
outright
Football.
winner on Sunday Night Football.
You didn't like your favorite team there,
You didn't like your favorite team
No,
there.
not going.
no?
No, not going.
Even
Yeah.
without fans, it's still going to be a tough
Even without fans, it's still going to be a
With
tough
fans,
place
they
to
lose
play.
that game.
With fans, they lose that game.
With fans,
With
New Orleans
fans,
might win the Super Bowl.
New Orleans might win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Drew Brees is starting to show his age, though.
And Drew
He can't
Brees
throw
is
the
starting
ball
to show his
downfield.
age, though. He can't throw the ball downfield.
So let's take a look at your picks.
So let's take a look at your picks.
In college, you like
picks.
Auburn.
In
getting
college,
the
you like
7
Auburn
against
getting
Georgia.
the 7
That's a
against
lot of
Georgia.
points.
It is
That's
a lot of points for
to
two top.
It
10
is a lot of
teams
points
playing each
for
other.
2 top 10 teams playing each other.
I mean, it is in
Right.
Georgia,
I mean, it is in Georgia.
even though I feel like that means nothing.
Even though I feel like that
No
means
fans,
nothing.
or very well. I think the
No
Southeastern
fans are
Conference is
very
letting
well.
fans
I
in,
think
but
the
not a lot.
Southeastern Conference is letting fans in, but not a
There's
lot.
some talk about
There's some talk about it, but like 10%.
You like New Orleans going on the road.
You
to
like New
Detroit.
Orleans going on the road to Detroit.
I feel like that's not a lot of points going
I feel like that's not a lot of points going
It's not.
into Detroit.
It's not.
It's not. You have Seattle
It's not.
flying
You have
across
Seattle
country,
flying
giving
across
6 to
country,
Miami.
giving 6 to Miami.
This is the third straight
Yes.
week I've had Seattle.
This is the third straight week I've had Seattle.
Yeah.
2-0.
You have the over in the
You
Eagles
have the
San Francisco
over
game
in
at
the Eagles
46
San
and a half.
Francisco game at 46 and a
I'm
half.
hoping San Fran puts up,
I'm hoping San Fran puts up 30 themselves,
and then I would hope
Suck.
the Eagles could put
and
up.
then I would hope the Eagles could put up. I figured they'd put
Okay.
up like 20.
And
Okay.
you have the Monday night game. You have Green Bay giving
you have the
6
Monday
and a
night game. You have
half
Green
with
Bay
Atlanta.
giving 6.5 with Atlanta.
Atlanta,
Atlanta.
It wouldn't surprise me if Atlanta was winning the whole game.
It wouldn't surprise me if Atlanta was winning the whole game and then they lose by.
So in other words, Atlanta's going to be up by 30
So
at
in other words,
halftime
Atlanta's going to be up by 30 at halftime and lose.
As long as it's more than 6.5.
As long as it's more than 6.5.
Yeah.
So that means I'll be watching the first.
Got ya. All right, so my picks. I have the Alabama Crimson Tide giving 18
to Texas A&M.
Texas A&M did not look good last week against Vanderbilt.
Did not look good last week against Vanderbilt.
Not look good at all. I believe the final score was 17-12.
I believe the final score was 17-12.
Now, could have been looking ahead. Who knows?
Could have been looking ahead.
But they're kind of young at some key spots.
They're kind of young at some key spots.
Alabama's going to run all over them.
I think Alabama's going to run all over them.
My only concern is at the end.
That they get backdoored at the end.
That if they're up by 24.
That if they're up by 24.
Texas A&M scores a meaningless touchdown at the end of the game.
At the end of the game.
Win by 17.
They win by 17.
I really would have liked to have gotten less than 17.
Having to take less than 17
in this.
Or give less than 17 in this.
Jacksonville going on the road to Cincinnati. Getting the 3. I think Jacksonville
getting the 3. I think Jacksonville
plays a lot better coming off of their loss.
Last Thursday to Miami.
Cincinnati's looked decent so far.
Looked a lot better
than you thought they would.
Looked a lot better than you thought they would have.
But I think Jacksonville gets it done. You and I go head to head in the Seattle-Miami.
You and I go head to head in the Seattle-Miami game. I like Miami.
Getting the 6 again. They've had 10 days off. Seattle was coming off 2 emotional games.
Seattle was coming off 2 emotional games.
And
New England,
Dallas.
And
now you're making them fly cross country for a 10 a.m. in the heat of Miami.
In the heat of Miami.
And when are you going to learn to stop trying to go head to head on me against Seattle?
This will be the 3rd straight week.
Yes.
Who's 2-0?
Yes.
Who's 2-0? Who's 5-10?
Yeah, I have to go back and look at your record. You might be 9 and 6.
I went 3-2. I went 3-2 and 2-3.
Yeah, you are 9 and 6.
Yeah, I might be 9 and 6.
Yeah, you are 9
I
and 6.
had 9 and 6, then I changed it.
I had 9 and 6, then I changed it because you said you were 10 and 5.
I knew you were 9 and 6.
You're 9 and 6. I knew you were 9 and 6. Trying to cheat. Trying to cheat.
I'll go 5-0 this week. You're going to go
for some reason the better.
Because for some reason the better sucks.
And the guy who looks at the lines an
hour before the show
has a positive record.
This is my favorite game of the whole weekend.
This is my favorite game of the whole weekend.
Given slightly less than 2 touchdowns at Washington. You got to feel a little sorry for the Washington football team. They get to play an angry Baltimore team. Coming off a Monday night embarrassing
loss.
Yeah.
I don't think that's pretty.
You had asked me before.
But I could see it being a 38-13 kind of game.
38-13 kind of game.
You had asked me before if there was a team that's ever gone 16-0 against the spread. Now Baltimore, in last year, they wound up beating the spread by an average of like 12
and a half points or something like that.
So they were just dominant last year, and they were pretty dominant last year,
and they were pretty dominant their first 2 games.
They have matchup problems against Kansas City.
They have matchup problems against Kansas City.
They just don't match up well against them. And Baltimore's not built to come from behind. They really need to have the lead. And my final pick, New England, Kansas City over 52. I see this being a shootout.
I see this being a shootout.
You're going to have to score to keep up with
Kansas City.
Mahomes is just Mahomes. You know?
Mahomes is just Mahomes.
Sometimes it just looks like he's throwing the ball up there.
Sometimes it just looks like he's throwing the ball up there, but
it's weird.
They score on the play. It's weird.
Right.
So those are my plays. Alabama minus 18, Jacksonville plus 3,
minus
Miami
18,
plus 6,
Jacksonville
Baltimore
plus 3, Miami
minus
plus 6,
13 and a half, New England, Kansas City over 52,
New England, Kansas City over 52,
and the non-genetically proven Sun plays were Auburn plus 7, New Orleans minus 4.5, Seattle minus 6, over 46.5, and Philly, San Francisco, and Green Bay minus
6.5.
So that is the Phatts Fantastic Five
for week 4.
All right. We're doing good. We try to keep Thursday night to about 45 minutes.
Try to keep Thursday night to about 45 minutes.
Get ready to watch the great Thursday night football game.
Get ready to watch the great Thursday night football game.
You know, I haven't eaten dinner yet.
I haven't eaten dinner yet.
I have a frozen pizza sitting in the...
Okay. I do not. I do not have a frozen pizza.
I do not have a frozen pizza sitting in the freezer.
Got it at Target 15 minutes before. I came home, took a shower, went to Target, grabbed dinner. Came here, my computer called you.
Very good.
Very good. All right. All right. Any last words before we wrap this up?
Any last words before we wrap this up?
I don't know.
Okay.
Go City.
Okay.
Go City.
All right. Then you guys have a fantastic weekend. We will see you Tuesday night. Tuesday. When I claw back in on the Phatts
Fantastic 5.
That's not happening.
That's not happening.
That's not happening.
That's not happening.
The KC game is going to be like the last Super Bowl that New England
could be.
Yes.
Never know.
Could be.
Never know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, until Tuesday. Remember, WWG1.
WGA.
See ya, everybody.